What's going on, everybody? This is Roster of the Misfit Effect. And of course, I'm joined with my wonderful, beautiful, awesome, always a fun and energetic co-host, Miss Sarah Lace.
Hey, happy to be back again. So, we're actually filming two podcasts back to back, and this time we've got a sexy MILF adult performer. She is a little bit newer, but I actually was like scouring through her YouTube, so I feel like I know her a little bit. She is also an author, which we will talk about this a little bit more. But I just want to introduce you guys to the gorgeous Jade Greene.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Some Miss J, for all the infidels who don't know who you are, who are you?
Oh my gosh. So I'm Jade Greene. I am an author and an adult actress. I used to like dance, like I was a stripper back in the day, but I was also a former Miss Virginia and I am a retired Washington Capitals cheerleader. So I've done a little bit of everything. Someone called me a jack of all trades, and I corrected them. I'm like, no, Jane of all trades, one of the ladies of all the things.
I did see you also work in finance, so you really are a Jane of all trades. You kind of have like a full like spectrum of work experience going on.
Yeah, I really had a crazy 20s experience. So I didn't start doing like OnlyFans until my 30s, until like literally a year ago. And that's what really pushed me more into the adult industry. But it all started actually with like dancing. I just didn't really dance consistently, so I never like I try not to lead with that because I feel like when you tell people you've been a dancer, they assume like that was your whole career. And I was like, no, it was more like my side hustle that like really helped me like in times where for example, I needed to move down from Alaska to Florida. Like that was I'm in Florida now, and I've lived here a little over a year, but I lived up there for a couple of years for finance because all of the jobs up there pay like more than, if not equal to, some of the highest paying cities in the United States. Like it's
Ooh.
very easy. Yeah, it's very easy
I
to
want to
live.
make a joke, but is it because no one wants to live in Alaska?
Exactly. That is precisely why they pay you well up there. So I was up there for a while, and the move down here was like I think I spent probably $10,000 in like a month or two to get that move by myself. It was just me when I moved down, and so having stripping, I was insane. I did both accounting and stripping at the same time to be able to make that move. So it was always a backup for when the day job would fail.
Okay.
I get that.
I just moved here and I think I paid about the same amount because deposits and all the other. Oh my God, moving sucks.
Moving is especially Alaska to Florida, man. I couldn't have picked a worse country move.
Right?
Well,
For
I'm
real. It basically feels like cross country, I'm guessing.
it is.
It
That's
Right?
is. It's
It
literally
is.
cross
Like
country.
going from the very top to the very bottom of the US practically. Like,
I think the only furthest point I could have gotten away is one of the U.S. Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico. Like
mhm.
that would have been a slightly further move.
so
I
that's
mean, at least you didn't go all the way to like Maine or something,
I
like
know,
from
right?
one end to the other.
And it would have just been cold to cold, right? Like at least I
Mhm.
picked a really nice spot to settle down. I love Florida. Florida's
I
great.
Alaska is one of the 12 states I have not visited yet. But
Go in summer.
yeah, that's one thing I'm worried about because like I can't do the cold. I would literally, cry a little bit.
Me too. I'm
Like
really not a cold
Like, and
person.
I'm and I'm and I'm and I'm from a cold winter state, 'cause
But you're not.
I'm from Indiana, but I know that's the reason I left the cold winter state because me and snow, me and the cold, yeah, and Alaska gets snow because Alaska is next to Russia and Canada, and horrible. Anyway,
It's
It's
insane.
cold.
Yeah.
It's cold up there. I I get it. I'm down here. I love it down here. And being here really helped. Like I started my OnlyFans up in Alaska, so naturally coming down to an area where it is really concentrated in OnlyFans. I mean, people would argue that, yeah, sure, LA might be the capital of porn, but Miami is the capital of OnlyFans. Like there are so many creators here and it's crazy. And, some are much better than others. Like, fortunately, whenever
Yeah.
I collaborate, I require the same TTS or clear testing that porn would. But I've heard rumors that sadly some creators don't require that, which is crazy.
See,
Yeah.
I understand. Like no, and I know a few things. I know sometimes it's harder for some performer-ish people that like if they're in New York or like if they're in Atlanta or someplace like that to get some of the facilities. But they use like their sister places in order to get tested. And some people don't like when you go to one of those places, even though they are TTS or whatever,
I think as
affiliated.
long as they're approved, that makes sense. Because it's like they go through the same testing that we all go through, and it goes through the same
Yeah,
lab type, but not testing at all is that's career
yeah, like
suicide in
like
my
person
opinion.
personally, I prefer CET over TTS and Clear. But that's just like a personal viewpoint.
Mhm.
However, like they're all, industry-ish places, you just everybody has their own flavor.
Mhm.
It's not
All
like
pretty much the same.
I go to Dr. Bob and Dr. Bob gives me a result and you don't know like as you said in one of your videos on YouTube, we had a watch section on your YouTube. Like everybody, don't go through the right channels.
Mhm.
And like that. So I don't blame you for not collabing with, these so-called collaborators and content people because, this is your job. One Miss STD, and that's the end of it.
More than that, I like getting laid too much. So let's be real. Like a week or two out of work, like no way, no way, no
Right?
cap.
Like I know we got toys and all, but that does not compare to the real thing. Like, come on. It's
So
all about being safe and doing things essentially the right way, to keep not just ourselves but our families and our partners safe as well. We can be freaky, kinky, whatever. You can call me a dirty slut, but I'm never gonna be a dirty slut.
Yeah, like it's a different.
a different type of dirty.
No, no infected sluts in the house. None.
Exactly. Mhm.
I mean, like I'm glad to see that like 'cause I've been around the porn for a very, 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 very long time. I'm old, as far as porn years. And like that no one has contacted, A's or anything like that. And like it's only been a few minor things, luckily enough. But with the emergence of OnlyFans and stuff like that, and people like want to work with, these creators, whatever, because of whatever reason, sometimes it's like extremely more risky and it sucks and it's scary, it's
Mhm.
because of that. And like
I
I'm not
find
and I'm not to put it out there, everybody, I am not saying that these independent people are bringing in STDs and stuff like that. I'm saying that is an added thing to look into because there's been many cases when performers who are in the industry have, contracted things, but it's just easier for people to catch things now because everybody's not checking for fake tests as well as they should be. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
you're right. They need to scan the QR code.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Always check that QR code. Always scan it. I've actually stumbled across a couple performers throughout my 7 years in this where they've actually like photoshopped and put someone else's like QR code and stuff. So you go in there and you look at it, and if you don't look at the names, you'll just look like, oh, okay, it says clear. But then Like, I actually go and I'll check it, compare it to their ID, and I'm like, that's not your name, buddy. Like,
I always check with the ID because I'm like, I am not messing around. Like, too risky,
Yeah,
too risky.
and the thing is like since each one has their own app, you got to have an account on each one, and sometimes you can't make an account unless you go there and get tested. So like since I've never been to Clear, my name wouldn't be on Clear's system, but
mm-hmm,
you go to TTS or CET, whatever information is there. So it's important that if you are a performer to go into at least one place at least once. So it's all you have access to all of the
mm-hmm,
necessities. That's just my opinion, but it is what it is.
mm-hmm.
So I go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was actually gonna ask, tell us a little bit more about yourself, how you actually ended up stripping as your side hustle. How did you kind of stumble upon that?
So I was going to college in Baltimore, and what does Baltimore have? The block. So it wasn't uncommon for a lot of college girls, and it was always the rumor around where it's like, oh, this girl's dancing or this girl's doing that. And it's like, I remember I remember my peers, like not all of them, but like a few of them expressing disdain and disgust. And in my head, I always was like, that's so cool. Like that's so cool that you can make money just by being hot. Like what a trip. Like so I remember I was so scared and I didn't even apply to this strip club as a dancer. I applied as a cocktail waitress. So I show up and he's like, so here's the job. Like, he's like, here's the thing. He's like, a lot of the girls like to hang out at the club and decide whether they want to do like the bartending, waitressing route or whether they want to dance. He's like, I'm not going to push you either way. I encourage you to just, hang out tonight, dress hot. And so I did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that night, I decided to become a dancer at 21. And it was crazy because I was also Miss Maryland at the time. And a big reason why I was stripping was because, like, here's the thing about like pageants and like beauty pageants, they pay you in scholarships, but like that's not cash. So, like, that doesn't take care of rent and it doesn't take care of bills. And like, on a national level, absolutely. And some of the bigger states, like South Carolina, I know Miss America, South Carolina used to win an apartment for like a year, but that is not all states and that's not all pageants. So like it just depends on how much money your system has. So I was this was before I even hit a big five because I ended up winning Miss Virginia years later for a big five for Miss US International. But I was like, shit, like I need to pay rent and look hot, like, and I still need to do my job as a beauty queen and go to college. I was balancing that with like a full-time college student. I was like, I don't have money for this and like, I don't know what to do. So the problem with like a normal job, I wouldn't have had the time to make the amount of money I needed to get everything done. So like, just making sure I like looked good at appearances because they didn't dress me. Like most states, they like have these huge expectation of their girls where it's like have this knockout expensive wardrobe, have your hair and nails done. But it's like nobody's paying for that most of the time. Most of the like 90% of the time, nobody's paying for that shit. So it's like I actually started stripping because of pageantry. Like, and if pageants want to come for me for that, like I'm the talk of the pageant world right now among the misses, which
I
is
could see
funny.
that. Yeah.
They're all like, what the fuck? But half of them are really supportive. Like I've had a lot of girls come out and be like, you know what, you balls. Like you have got to just like come out and be like, screw you, pageant world. Because they did. Like they just put all these expectations on like 20-year-olds, 18 to 22-year-old girls. And it's like some of the girls did have sugar daddies, which like eventually I like had a couple of those, but I wasn't ready for that at that age. And like I wasn't mature at all. I was a very immature, like bratty little girly girl, 21-year-old that just wanted to get my money and like go to the pageant. I didn't want a daddy. I just wanted to like be
I
my
get that. You're like, I don't have time for all that. Just give me my money right now.
I'll just show my titties and get the money.
Show some titties, shake some ass,
Exactly.
I mean, I've heard about, the pageant life, but I didn't know that they didn't pay for any damn thing. I thought they gave you money and a scholarship and other stuff like that because, that really doesn't help if you don't get any of the money back.
Well, it's so crazy because each state, it depends on who your sponsors are. So they don't all, Miss America is Miss America, Miss USA is Miss USA. Those are kind of exceptions because, that's 0.01% of pageant competitors are gonna even actually less than that are even gonna compete for that title. Like it's just so hard to get to that level.
Mhm.
And so for states will pay your college and they'll pay for your sort of your wardrobe for nationals. So usually like your prize will come with like the flight, the hotels and stuff, and like maybe a gown. But it's like the swimsuits, like a lot of the national pageants and even state Miss Americas would be like, oh, you have to get this swimsuit, this designer swimsuit, and oh, you have to pay us for it. Like you would have to pay the pageant system
That's
for
insanity. Like it just feels like it sounds like a money grabbing scheme at the end of the day.
What's my
honestly, like if you didn't win, it was because that's the thing. Like they knew they were putting out this message that anyone could win, even though that was not the case. It was a very elitist community. That's the best word to describe it.
Hmm. I
So
completely
stripper
understand
money.
that. Right, exactly. Like trying to break the stigma. Like we can be both smart and beautiful, like Jane of all trades,
I
like
mean,
kind of have
honestly, a lot of people don't believe that you could be both, and they always try to say that if you are beautiful, whatever, or you look good, whatever, they try to find some type of negative
Well,
inside of you.
they say those type of women are deceptive, that they're fake. That's the
Yeah,
quickest. And I've gotten that a lot where it's like, oh, she can't be like hot and charitable is the one. Like I love charity work. Actually, I'm getting ready to help with this stupid hurricane coming, and people think that it's like evil and manipulative that I just like to help people. I'm like, no, homie. Like if there were no bills and no capitalism and no like I need money all the time, I'd be in the Peace Corps. I'm a hippie. Like
and I do
I
want to say
love
that
that.
we are recording this on October 8th, so it's like a few weeks ago. Be safe out there. I know you're in Florida, and I know a lot of my friends down there are getting very crazy about everything. But be safe down there. I want you to be safe. I don't, yeah, be safe.
I should be good. I'm a little Red Crosser, so I was well prepared a couple days ago. I'm
Yeah,
good.
so I know listen, we care about Jade Greene's safety.
Thank
So I just had to throw that out there. But I do want to bring up one thing since you are here. Tell us about the book. You are an author. We gotta talk about the book.
Oh man, so like the book, I really hope it hits home with women because it's like I kind of look, my brand is all about sex and I look at my porn is mainly for men, but my books are for the ladies. And like I hope that women really identify with it because like it kind of follows a protagonist at a very basic level. You see the ugly, cringy, immature parts of a 21-year-old, but like alongside the fun parts of being 21, like being reckless and careless and not giving an F about how your decision, being selfish, being
Yeah.
unhinged and selfish. That 21, but they are like they're
Like that
so
that is the age to be selfish though, it's like you're trying to come into yourself, figure out who you are as a person, as a grown woman or man or whatever you want to identify as. Like it's that is the age to be essentially making mistakes and picking yourself up and learning from them. So I kind of like that idea. I actually read like I was going through your YouTube and I saw one of the teasers and I was like, oh, okay. I gotta add this to my to-do list. Because I am a huge reader, so I'm always looking for new authors, new romance novels to read. So I
I
definitely,
have extra books. I can send you a couple copies.
oh
I
yes,
see.
please.
Like, yeah, like I'm looking at like, is it just two books that you have out now? Because I know it's one you said that might release on October 1st. I don't know if that was
I got sick. I like was so mad. I got sick in the middle of the month in September when I was in between tours. And
Mhm.
I was not able to live for like a good week. So that
Okay.
delayed it. And then what happened was I was on tour. So like I had no time to even look at my book because I was busy uploading content and doing the things. So it's like it pains me to delay the book more, but it's like I'm establishing my brand in porn and the book's already my third book's already written. Like it's already there. So like
Yeah.
if I die tomorrow, it's still gonna get out there.
Well,
My
let's
sister
hope
knows.
you don't die
Like,
tomorrow.
I won't say that. No, so
Let's
like
not
I've
bring that into the universe. Like,
I've tried not to stress about it because it's like a lot of authors tend to bog themselves down with the idea that there are deadlines. And it's like when you're working as an indie author for your own publishing company, I don't even have to put it out. I will put it out. I will put it out. But it's one of those things where I'm being very forgiving with myself because I'm working on an entirely different brand geared towards men, which is my porn brand. So
Mhm.
I'm learning to balance being an author and also being a porn star because they're very conflicting. Like,
mm,
I've noticed the weirdest thing is people expect me to be a lot more like social with my free time. And I'm like, I'm an author. Like, when do you think I write and edit books? Like,
exactly. You're like, what free time?
The thing
there's
is,
no free time.
I think that they just say the social thingy because the fact they want you to like just meet the people, because I think both of y'all are with the same agency, and 'cause you're one on one, right?
Yeah, I'm one
Yes.
on one.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, both,
We yeah,
y'all both are one on one. So,
sweet.
I think they just want you to
It's a
meet.
good agency.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just want y'all to meet, like, just meet people. So, like, especially since you're new, since you started in 2024, it's just an opportunity for you to just, like say, hey, I'm blah blah, and just to get you in like in the faces of people. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what the main thing of it is, and but yeah, so yeah, right. But writing is hard.
Yes, it really is.
I would say for me, and maybe this is what makes me such a natural author, is like writing's not the hard part for me. It's the editing. It's always the editing. I can write a book in like my record was like 2 weeks. I wrote my second manuscript. I just like went manic for a couple weeks and didn't do anything, and just wrote my book. And so it's really easy for me to write. This one only took a few months, the third one, but editing is a nightmare because essentially you're reading your work like over and over again. You are reading the same book 20 times. It's awful.
I have a
And then,
question.
mind you, some people will look at like they will look for the little things, like little misspellings, and be like, "Oh, you fucked up here," and you're just like, "Well, I'm human." Like, whoops.
I have a random question, and you might not even consider this. When you're writing, do you focus on a certain writing style, like certain format?
I try to so my all three of my books, she is same protagonist, it's a series. So it
Okay.
follows the same protagonist and the story is told in first person. So like you are in her head, she is or well, yeah, she's telling the story. So I try to make it very like a juxtaposition between her public facing self, especially since none of these books she's probably going to be a porn star and none of these books she's going to be a stripper just because it's irrelevant to the story. Like it's irrelevant to the plot that I'm trying to drive home at the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's unreal. They're just they're side quests. If I want to put them in there, I can put them in there, but I don't need them in there to complete my story.
Yeah.
But with that, I like having her kind of bounce between this like public facing, very polished, uh, opportunistic, even like self, but then also with this very private, like she does have a very sincere side to her where she wants to make a difference in the world. And I think we all have that. Like that was the whole point of like these book series is that like you can be a total freak in bed and have a very active, deep, profound mind at the same time. Like you can have a relative die and still want to bang the next week, like, and feel better about life because you just had sex with someone you had a great connection with. Like I think people try to like gussy up and fluff up sex, and as an author, I'm like, no, 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 no. We're gonna make this awkward, but it's still gonna feel good. Like because that's how it really.
I think because like the thing is everybody sees sex as so taboo, you know,
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
such an American thing though. Like Europeans are not like that. You go to Prague and like Netherlands. It's an American thing.
and it's crazy because like everybody like exists in on this earth because of some form of sex. Even if
Yeah,
you like, are a test tube baby, you got here because someone did something into a test tube. If you're artificially inseminated, someone did something inside of a tube to, you know, it's like
Exactly.
I don't know why the world is against sex, and it's ridiculous. I'm
well, I
sorry.
think people too, like in our culture at least, like there's some positives about people becoming vocal about problematic parts of the sexual aspects of our behavior. But I think another issue is the opposite is that people won't acknowledge that sex can be healing, that sex can be self-explorative. I feel like you can really, when you're exploring, I know me personally, when I was 21, I had like a group of friends that we practiced like open, ethical non-monogamy and had a great freaking time doing it while they all lived in the same area. And it's like
I have
having that
friends like
experience.
that.
It was the best.
I have a
Oh,
few
I
friends.
love them so much. I wrote characters that were inspired by them and they know about it and think it's so
Oh,
cool.
I love that.
But I feel like that helped me figure out who I was, and that no matter what anyone's relationship experience is, like I think, yeah, sex like can definitely help tell you who you are and aren't in the moments of making those decisions.
I can definitely see that, like, mind you, especially when it comes to things that can be considered kink, like a lot of those things are derived like from your past. Like you don't just suddenly like, oh, this is what I'm into. It what happens is you have a sexual experience where you discover it, and that essentially evolves, and you kind of realize like, oh, I like this. I like this. And like some people like, what post nut clarity, whatever, they feel shame to things. But in reality, you're like, come on, there's no shame to the game. Like
I have post nut fog, brain fog, so I don't
post
I
nut
have post nut brain fog.
I like
I
that. See,
need like a sandwich.
right? Like one time, I don't know exactly why, but like, like I was fucking, I had like a really, really good orgasm. And I just laid back and I was like, cheers, love. And then we looked at each other after a little, like a few seconds, like, what did you just say? And I was like, I think I just said cheers. Like, I don't know where that came from, but I mean, that shit must have been good,
You should experiment with Opa and see.
Exactly. Like,
Opa.
right?
I have no idea what that is. What's
Like
Opa?
there's
What's
It's
Opa?
the Greek celebration word.
Oh, okay. I'm like I'm confused. With the
right?
I was
puppet.
gonna
Like,
say, like,
come on.
have you guys ever sometimes I'll masturbate before I work out. Like, I don't know. I feel like that helps me. I feel like maybe I'm superstitious here, but I like feel in my brain, I'm like, it's raising my testosterone. It's making me
I've
a
read
better athlete.
somewhere that it could actually help you, help you work out better because
Really?
you let off like like for men we let out a lot of our tension because like we get like we feel I don't know like since I've never been a woman I can't explain how y'all feel but I know for us it just feels like we have a whole backup log like like with water like coming out like we feel that and that's why a lot of us need to masturbate to get it off whatever but I know for y'all, it's like y'all are more relaxed, you're more soothed, you're like you're calm, and you're going
Yeah,
to work out, and you can work out better. I
I
don't.
can see that. From what I've heard is like professional like sports people. This one I've heard like actually like football player like men, for example. They will actually like edge themselves, like they'll masturbate, but they won't let themselves come because that will raise their testosterone. And so they're able to like go into the field with that like extra level of, I guess we can call rage or whatever, that extra level to like,
They
you go,
goon, they goon for the sport.
yeah, they goon for the sport from what I've heard. And
Yeah,
then,
because if
once
you
it's done, they get that relief and they go and finish themselves off or have someone help them finish off.
I
well,
love
it's also because like from what I understand, it's like if you're going to box the next day, you're not supposed to because it makes your feet loose, whatever. But if you edge, you get yourself to the point of it there, so you're getting the feeling just enough without it, so you're still, getting yourself off, quote unquote, without getting yourself off.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I
I'm
get
gonna
that.
try
You're
this.
so close, right?
Yeah, I think, but I don't know. It's like I, the thing is I'm more since I'm such a giver, I would hate like any person of the opposite sex to not get the O she's waiting for because some girls don't get any O's, period. So I'm a big like fan of making sure that y'all get
Yeah,
y'all
she
O's.
gets hers too.
No, I'm just she said she's gonna like get there and then stop. I don't know. I want you to get all the way, like get that no. No, I want you to get that, like where like you can't walk on your left leg for 10 minutes. You got to like,
You're like a little
I
shake.
want no, like I've had orgasms so good I've cried. Like I like literally my eyes just like release tears because
Yeah,
I cannot breathe properly
I
during the
get
orgasm.
that. See that, yeah.
Those are the best. Like
And see, one of the things that I like to do, like I learned this from someone else, before a scene, like we like to kind of masturbate and like edge ourselves, but not get ourselves all the way there. So you show up on set and you're just like ready. You're like, come
that's
on,
what I do.
coach, I'm ready for this. Like, I've heard that makes like the scene so much better. Like, I really like doing that. Like, especially if you're like nervous about working with someone new, you kind of get yourself close and you show up and you end up more hyped. You're like, come on, like I don't know who you are, but let's get to know each other.
I think you're right. Like it puts you already in the mood so that like when you meet them you can just be like,
Mm,
hey.
right, exactly. I feel like it allows for a little bit more of that sexuality to creep out.
See, I,
Yeah.
I think with me because I'm a little asexual. Like for me, it's never really about me when I'm looking at it from that aspect looking in.
Hmm.
'Cause that's why I'm always say like I'm more adamant of saying, okay, for example, if I was looking at Sarah, I'm like, so what do you like, Sarah? What do you need to get off without me doing too much, just in case something goes wrong? You know, so that's where I'm at with that situation. So, that release isn't always important to me, you know, as
I
far as she's looking at me like I'm crazy. That's just how I am. I'm sorry. That's how I'm wired. And I think it's basically because I've been around porn since 2008. So it's like, yeah, '08.
Mhm.
And so now it's kind of like I'm null to it a little bit, you know. Like I'm not a performer. I'm not like no one wants to look at this naked in any capacity, you know. But being on the opposite with the person with the camera, like, okay, this is what they want, and that's how I'm able to, get the best look at people. But it's also like, okay, I've seen girls have sex on camera, and I could tell they didn't finish, and I can't say that in front of the other talent because it's kind of like it's disrespectful to them to say she didn't
Like,
even come.
right, like damn, you didn't even let her come.
I actually had this conversation with a producer about he wanted to know, well, it wasn't him, it was like one of his assistants that was like helping him direct, kind of, that
Mhm.
designated to. He asked me like if I had a like higher pitched like baby voice. Like I was like, no, that's not what I do. I was like, I'm a cheerleader, so I will yell, I will I will project very loudly, but like the pitch of voice, like I'm not taking that. I was like, also like my real orgasms, like if you've watched my porn, like I'm like, oh fuck, like this loud like cheerleader scream, like rah, 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 like,
Okay.
and it's not like the highest pitch thing, but like that's how you can tell they're real. Like they're not. I'm not trying to sound pretty. I'm trying to like feel my kegels out. That's squeezing on the dude's dick, you
Exactly.
know.
I do feel like I get higher pitched, but like I feel like
You
before.
do the like shriek. I've heard girls shriek, like and that's real. I've heard the opera shriek is the opposite real.
Oh, I don't do like a full opera streak, but I do feel like my voice gets a little higher, like when I'm closer, you know? But I
Yeah.
noticed like before I actually started like doing porn, I like my moans and my like orgasms like were really quiet. Like I was just a really quiet person. So some people would like unless you knew how I came, people wouldn't like know. Like you would feel my shaking, but they'd be like, "Did you fake it?" I'm like, "No, that one was real." You know,
Yeah.
like
I was
with
always
porn, I
loud.
became more vocal too. You know, and I feel like I don't know, porn allows you to kind of like step into yourself and allows your sexuality to be free. You know, so
Yeah. Like I feel that. And I mean, especially like what's nice about the environment is I don't feel judged. I mean, I feel a lot less judged in this environment than any other I've been in any other industry.
I mean,
I get
at the
that.
end of the day, in this environment, everybody is doing the same thing in some capacity, unless you just do the extreme stuff. So it's bad to try to judge somebody for wanting, a release and have sex the hell the way they want to have sex. So
Mhm.
it's a cutting edge. You shouldn't judge somebody if you're in the same industry because at the end of the day, we're all getting freaked in some capacity.
Well, and there's an audience for all of us. Like, what's nice about it too is like what people want with porn is so subjective. So like there is consumers and markets for literally every single one of us.
So I have two
Exactly.
questions before I go forward. So one question, what is your favorite type of scene to create or watch?
I love making the swap. It's just so great. There's it's the perfect number of male to female ratio, and you get variety, but it's not too much variety. So I love the swap.
You love swapping?
Oh, I love it. Those
Ooh,
are my favorite, I think.
that's hot. So do you like both? Like you're bisexual then?
Yeah, and very much evenly. Like I would not say I date or am more romantically attracted to either. So in Florida, I do tend to date more women and like I don't hook up with men here, really. But that's because it's Miami and this is a very terrifying place to
I get that. There's lots of hot women to enjoy yourself with out there.
Yeah, yeah, and I have a ton of porn guys, so like that's the nice thing about porn is that it gets me laid. I don't really have to go seeking.
Right? Exactly. It comes to you. It's
And it
almost
makes
like a
me
delivery
money. Like
service.
what?
It's almost like a delivery service, but like you're getting paid too, you know? Like,
I'm mad you said delivery service.
Dick delivery.
oh, come on, deliver
Oh
that
my
pipe.
God. So on that same token, then so I asked a lot of people this, especially in their first year. And this could be anybody, it could be male, female, TS, whatever you want, whatever your figure. Who are the top five people you have not worked with that you want to work with?
Ooh, I would love to work with Haley Rose and Max Field. I think they are so hot as a couple. And I say this like in every interview. So Max and Haley, I'm trying to bang. If you want to just tuck me, I'm cool with that too. And then Johnny Loves, who else? Ethan Seeks and probably Daisy Phoenix. She's really young, but she's so hot. We're both AMA girls, so people have suggested we collab. So I'm all for all 5 of those.
Okay. Someone that knows what they want, you know? Because sometimes we ask this question and people really, really have to think it through. But
oh no, I got a list.
You had your
and she's
list.
like, and she's like, that's not even the full list. You just don't know.
I got a few more.
I got a few more. No,
I'm
because
a
like
very horny nerd.
I always ask that question because like there are certain people who people have said certain people's names, and I'm like, oh, I can text them right now. And I've texted them before during the podcast, and on a few occasions they actually did a scene together like later because of that little connection.
Yeah.
So like,
Exactly. All about that.
I'm sharing orgasms worldwide as much as I can.
That's right.
I'm a horny girl. That's why I'm in the industry.
You say you were a nerd. Like what do you do? Like what do you do for fun outside of writing?
Self-writing. So I would say I'm reading. I would say both of those things make me a huge nerd. I also
No,
have a master's. So like for finance, I have a master's in business analytics and finance, like both of those together.
I have a
So
master's in business mark I'm lying.
no,
Project
business
ma
analytics. So
I no
like,
no I me.
oh, you do?
I have a master's in project management and a master's in entrepreneurship. But go
Oh,
ahead.
that's crazy.
Business
Dude.
nerds.
Right.
I follow the stock market like crazy. I actually made a bunch of money last year on Nvidia, and it was my first big girl, big money win. Because like before that, I had little wins, but like not like Nvidia. That stock, I invested like a year and a half ago before it like blew up, and then it blew up, and I was a really happy camper.
Heck yeah.
I've only made 100 in the stock market. I have no, I have made nothing.
Oh no, because then I'm liable, so I can't get stock advice.
Oh no, we're not talking about. I said me. I make bad financial decisions.
Oh no. And then I used to be a gamer, but it's honestly like as much as I wish I could play video games, books have kind of replaced that. Like I've had to pick and choose and like I always wanted to prioritize like my fitness with marathon running, which is a non-negotiable. Like everybody in my life that's lasted with me knows like the marathons come before a lot of
Yeah,
things.
I think the very first time I seen you cross my timeline was a video of you like running down like a street or whatever, and someone stops you, you get completely naked, you say something, and you keep on running. That was the first video I think I seen of you, and someone retweeted it. Someone retweeted it, and that's how it crossed my path. I'm like, oh, that person looks fun.
Right.
I'm a
Sounds
nudist.
streaking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I was lucky. So that was a nudist resort, and that's how I got away with it. Like, I'm not even gonna lie about it. It was. I love going to the nudist resorts here because I live in Florida. So there's actually like I think there's 3 of them. But that's one of them, Caliente, and I love going over there. It's so nice. Everybody's naked.
I lived in Florida and I didn't know about the nudist resorts. I knew about the new beaches, but I know at least for the ones in like California, it's always a freaking hike to get to them. You got to go through all these hips and turns and mountains. You got to walk down like 3 miles, and I'm like, first of all, I can't walk that far. Second of all, what I'm gonna see when I get over here? Am I gonna be disappointed that everybody isn't freeing, or it's like, am I gonna see things that I don't want to see?
You have to remember that the nudist community is not the same as the swinger and porn community. So Probably the latter, just because like, they're not so focused on that. Like a lot of people in the nudist community tend to be older and like, they're
That's what I
retired
meant. That's what
time.
I
Yeah.
meant. Like older, like there's nothing wrong with,
But they're
you being
so
free.
chill. Like I love hanging with the nudists because like I went on a nudist cruise alone as a single female. And let me tell you, I did not feel unsafe at all that trip. I felt fine
Mm.
that entire trip. They're very chill.
That's pretty awesome. I've always wanted to do that, go to a nudist resort or like a cruise. But like I don't know, I've experienced the nude beach and it's a love-hate relationship, you know. It definitely feels freeing to be there and just, just be naked at the beach. And like I like to say this, I like feeling one with nature, you know. But guys go ahead and use that opportunity for things they're not supposed to. You know, they end up making it unsafe. They make it like end up feeling creepy. So I haven't really gone to the Miami nude beach as much as I would like to. But yeah, I just like being naked and being free. You know, I want to go out to like I don't know, like a forest or a cabin and just walk around just naked.
Girl, let's go. That
Right?
sounds
Like, let's
so
do that.
fun.
Because I've had
That's
some moments where guys will like guys will just go ahead and record me or just be staring like so hard where my husband goes and like he's naked too with me and he'll go and like give them like the views that they don't want. He'll go and like bend over or turn around and be like helicoptering for them like
That husband's amazing.
exactly, because it's like come on, like I just want to be naked like with everyone else, just want to be free, but like some guys end up making it not a good experience for us.
Yeah, it depends on the environment. Like the resorts vary. What's nice about the resort is people are really chill there. And resorts tend to be, because they're trying to make a profit. So like I hate to say it, but I feel like the paid venues are a lot safer because they have more of a motivation versus like the beaches, they're a public spot. Nobody's guarding, aside from bystanders, nobody's guarding your safety there. So like that's kind of the benefit of like the cruises, the resorts, is you get kind of a guaranteed like security where it's like if you're really uncomfortable with someone, like there's somebody that you can report to that's hey, like, can you tell this guy to leave me alone?
Right, that's beautiful. Like I feel like that's what makes me want to go there more.
Yeah,
Like
go to Caliente with your husband.
ooh,
That one's north of Tampa, like
mhm.
20, 30 miles. Hopefully it's good. It's supposed to be okay despite the hurricane because it's far enough inland, but geez.
the
I know.
the only thing, like when it comes to that, and it's a side thing too. It's like, you know, this is not in shape, you know. So sometimes I would just be, worried about, walking around with this
Nobody
doing.
judges you on
I
those.
know. It's all subconscious. It's that, that little thing in the back of your brain's like, oh my God. So everybody's gonna see all that blubber fat on your butt and on your love handles
Dude, that's
and like
not what people are
and
thinking.
like and like if it's cold outside, you're gonna have shrinkage. So it's kind of like, and it's just, it's
I,
just that little thing that sits on your shoulder, like, so this is what we're doing today, Raw. You know.
mm-hmm. I totally get that. Like we all feel self-conscious about things here and there. Like I absolutely understand that, but it's like I feel like that's the beauty of the nudist community. It's like there's ever people of all shapes and sizes just connecting with themselves and connecting with nature and just kind of embracing that part of them really. I
Yeah.
feel like it's removing the shame of nudity.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it particularly like especially when we went to the beaches. Like the nudist beach the cruise went to was really chill, and it was like a totally private area. So of course, like public didn't have access, and like it just was really chill to like be able to like yeah sip on a strawberry daiquiri on the beach, totally in the buff with your girlfriends, and not have a worry in the world. Like I made a couple of friends on the trip, and we just like hung out in Honduras naked, listened to the birds. Like this is so chill.
And
No,
I also feel like being naked allows you to
Ground.
actually like be naked like with your emotions and with yourself, you know, like I feel like you kind of like let out that part of you too, you know, where you really feel like you're not hiding yourself, you know.
That's so true.
I think one big thing also that's in the back of my brain is like, for example, if people are at my house, like I just had a pool party the other day, and it was two people in particular that was just, free and open to, get naked and just walk back and forth to the pool. Um, so, I'm used to people being around me that I know naked. It's just the fact that it's people I don't know. So
See
it's just
that?
that stranger aspect, not stranger danger like they're going to like come out in front of me and surround me and point, laugh, and click, and
Oh my God, no.
say, so this is the Raw Star. Okay. No,
Mhm.
it's just I don't it's just my braining negatively.
Mhm. Exactly. It's all about pushing past those essentially fears and negativity you have within yourself and just accepting who you are, you know? You just gotta accept yourself in all that glory, okay?
Sarah
But
knows what she's talking
I'll
about.
put it,
It
I'll put it, I'll put it
really.
like this, Jade. Okay, like there was a time in this my household where there was just a shirt party. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody was only wearing shirts and nothing else.
They were just Winnie the Poohing around the house.
Yes,
Yes. And
exactly.
it took them a good few hours this is this is in my house, mind you. It took them forever to get me to join in. And I'm like, and then I finally did it. They were like, yeah. And I'm like,
We're like, yeah, no pants party.
and it took them for like it's just that
How did
subconscious
it
part of it.
feel? How did it feel though?
I
Did it
was I
feel
was
good?
it was still subconscious because on one end, because I'm around nudity so much, I knew I controlled myself to not get, erect, whatever. But it's
Mhm.
the simple fact that the thoughts are still in my head. I'm still a straight male. So it's like it's still there. And so it's just like one side of my brain is that self-control of don't get hard. And the other side is like, oh, this is cool. But the thing is if no
I
if not
will
if
say, like, that's a thing in the naturist community. Cause yeah, like getting hard, I don't know, it's not a big deal, but I could totally see it like misinterpreted by women that aren't swingers, but in the nudist community. Cause they're different. They are different. They're like an overlapping circle. So there's some people that are both, but then like they're different.
Because like
Like
like for me it's like I always want people who are in my presence to feel safe, secure, whatever. And a lot of them do. Usually all of them do. But even when I'm recording people having sex, whatever, I've controlled myself enough to not get hard. And it's only happened in two of the 16 years, well, two times in my 16 years of doing it, to be recording porn or taking pictures of porn, whatever. And it's just like, no, take back, I'm lying, three times of my entire time is doing it, whatever. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, just
That self-awareness, I feel like, is
and
important for
and
sure.
because it's made me so timid around anything. Like I don't even like touching people if they're naked. It's like unless I'm about to be intimate with them, it's like I don't even want to.
you know.
Even just to adjust a strap like on my bikini, he's like, may I touch your person, you know, and his hands go up like this, like I'm not touching, but can I
Like,
like
can I?
just move that real quick, And then he'll go and just use the two fingers and just be like putting it back in place. And I'm like, come on, like just go ahead and just move it, like stuff like that. Where I'm like, you don't have to be like that shy. But I personally think it's really cute.
I love that. I love it.
Oh, eh, it's just a thing for me. So, what do you have coming up that we should be looking forward to? Like, like, have you recorded something that all your fans should be like, you know, knocking down doors looking for?
Oh my gosh. Well, I just put out a new collab today with Major Rome, and he wrecked my pussy.
Hold up. Rome Major or
Bro
Major?
major.
Rome Major, sorry.
I would like to Major Rome. That's a new person.
Sorry, Rome Major. And he like totally wrecked my pussy, so I'm really excited to put that on.
I get
But I
that.
have a bunch of I just went on my second tour, so I have a new scene that just came out with hot100rocks.com and then Porn Dude. I am really excited because Porn Dude is the craziest thing I've done. The guy put like my male talent put his dick in a pocket pussy and somehow managed to get both in my pussy. So I feel like that's probably going to be the greatest shoot I've done thus far.
Okay. Okay. So it
He
was
got
like,
it open wide.
yeah, I love that. That sounds cool as fuck. I haven't tried that yet. That sounds really hot. And like, it feels like it fill you up a little more too. But I've only been asked to do like hand jobs and stuff with a pocket pussy and just be doing that. And I'm like, can I put my mouth on it too? Go just
Or something, like
let me play with it a little more than just my hands. Like that sounds hot though. Like getting
it
like
looks
double
like
filled. It's basically you're getting double filled,
double stuffed Puerto Rican, right?
Double stuffed. Exactly. And like it doesn't matter what age we are, like that shit is tight, that pussy stays tight. Like once they're done wrecking it, it goes back. So I'm like, yeah, stretch me out, daddy.
Oh, I love it. Like I think what will happen is I'll actually do DP before or DVP before I ever end up doing anal because my pussy can take a beating. Like I've joked with guys, I'm like, if you could put a jackhammer on my clit, I would love that. Like, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, like really, like just punch my clit. I mean, don't actually, but like, no,
Right? Like use a strong ass vibrator for
I have
it.
a very strong ass pussy. Yeah.
I love that. But mind you, like they're meant to do that, like
They are.
meant to stretch to a certain,
Okay.
certain big amount basically versus the booty hole. Like the booty
Yes,
hole not necessarily
I seen Sarah's first DV.
Yeah, he witnessed it. I
That
haven't
sounds fun to me. That sounds like a good Saturday night. That's
Oh, it was. It definitely was. But like I haven't done it on camera just yet. And that's kind of how I am is like I want to try things out off camera first and make sure one that I'm comfortable and two that it actually excites me, Because if it's not something that I'm really into, why am I gonna film that? Like, yeah, we may be actors, but like the end of the day, like when it comes to sex, we shouldn't have to act that much.
I
Um,
like I like that idea, like to try things off camera with like a comfortable partner versus on, because then it's like you're more aware of your body. Like you can even film it to see what your body looks like doing it and like how it feels if you don't
and
like
your
it right away.
and your face too sometimes because
Mhm.
sometimes you like it, but your face makes a weird one eye open uh type thingy and it looks like you're liking it, but your face is like no. So it's like, you
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
you know, that then sooner or later y'all both be doing DVDA.
I don't know about all that, but You know,
Jay,
I
you
can
like
definitely take a stretch.
I'm gonna recommend you watch this movie called Orgasmo. And in the
Okay.
movie, like halfway through, a little more than halfway through, the lady is talking about she's been in how long she's been in porn, and what she does now is DVDA. And because the movie is about this person who's a Mormon, and he stops at a place where they're filming a feature length porn movie, and
Mhm.
he knocks on the door, which is interrupts whatever, and the director was like, "I like your look," and he makes him a porn star. And but the thing is, he's the actor, and then he has a stunt cock come in and has sex with the person while he just walks away. But he's the face, whatever. It was made by Tony Parker and it's Tony Parker, but Roy, the creators of South Park, wherever their
That's
names is.
funny.
But
Yeah,
it's called
it's
Orgasmo,
hilarious.
and even though Ron Jeremy is whatever, but he's in it too.
Mhm.
So
So I'll be
it's
honest, it was genuinely like a funny movie. Like I hadn't heard of it, and then he sent me a link to like just a little clip of it, and I'm like, I have to watch that. I
it's
have to.
it's really stupid, but it's really hilarious,
Mhm.
and that's where I know the term DVDA from. That's me as a high schooler learning about so many dicks going into so many holes.
Yeah,
And
you know,
it didn't
like
even include her mouth, and like that's another ordinary hole. You know,
mhm. Exactly. Get all them holes filled. Come on, why not?
it's a lot of dicks though.
Yeah, that's so
That's
true.
that's a lot of dicks.
I
That's
can handle it.
we're
I
talking
still
about
haven't done it on camera accidentally, but
we're talking about if Jade can handle it because Jade has the one. We got to see like how much like she keep talking about how much her vagina can handle,
I can
and
do DVP as of now, but like I'm holding it off for similar. Like I want to make sure, but
exactly. It's better to hold off on doing that because the way that I think about it is like there's only so much that you can do like sexually, you know. So if you kind of release all of that within the first year, it's like
yeah,
where do you go up from there, you know?
yeah,
but
So I
like
always try to tell people don't do anal your first year, you know, like let them get to know you, like, you know, let them get to know your mouth, your pussy, like stuff like that, whatever kinks and fetish things you do as well. Like they're like have that slow build up, almost like a book, you know, you're not gonna have sex day one, like you're not gonna
yeah,
go and like put all that like right up on the spot because it's like, all right, at the end of the book, how can I spice this up even more if I already gave it all up?
well,
yeah. No, you're not wrong.
sex on a trampoline, Sarah. That
Ooh,
builds it up. I'm sorry. It's
okay.
like what?
We did a bounce house recently. I did it with Jimmy Michaels, and holy crap, that was fun. But it was like 100 degrees outside. That was so hot.
Yeah, that's where the
Was that in
acting
La La
comes
Land
in.
or in Florida?
That was in Florida, and it was for Bounce House Sex with Ethan Theeks. Just started that website, but I just like kept putting ice on Jimmy. I just kept rubbing ice on him. I felt
I
we
totally
didn't know it was gonna be that hot out.
yeah.
That just seems like one you need to do during the winter. And like yeah, like winter or like early spring and just
Florida's
film.
still hot though. Like even you could get like in the winter, you could still get an 80-degree day easy.
Mm,
I mean, glad I lived in Florida for 2 years, and I know like there's certain parts like in January where it does get coldish. And like
mm-hmm.
even out here in LA, I live in LA now. Um, like right now, like we did have 100-degree weather last week, but like in like 2 months, we will have low 60s. So it's a prime time to like film like every day, like for those
Mm,
like those 3 weeks, and then just put one out like every other, you know, just spread it out because
Yeah.
yeah.
just being in there sometimes is very like heat strokey, heat strokey.
Mhm. Mind you, for like professional companies, some of them film like, for example, 6 months in advance. So like I've had to do it before where I filmed a summer scene in the winter.
Oof.
I literally had to like, mind you, this was like an outside, it was a pool scene. And it was freaking cold, like it was cold. And I basically had to act like it was summertime, like here my bikini stripping naked like it's hot. And then like in between filming, like I had to grab my coat and be like, all right, it is freezing. Like,
I seen like the company that shot somebody and they released it 2 years later, and you could tell it's old because they said, "Yeah, this is a brand new scene," even though the girl in the scene got a whole tattoo like right here now, and it's obvious the tattoo isn't there, and it's like her tattoo isn't there. That's an old scene. Yeah, she didn't had like a breast increase. It's like
yeah, they just
that's an
the
old
fault for
scene.
later.
Yeah, but you know, because you never know. You never know.
Mm.
And I forgot how we got on here. Um, yeah, my train of thought is gone. So you take together, you got the bouncing thingy, you have Rome Major. And what else did you say you had?
I have another collab coming out with Dre Strong, and he's been really fun to work with. So yeah, just filming a bunch. Next month I'm going to Connecticut, New York City. This month I'm still going to DC, before the end of the month for 2 more shoots. So
Okay, you just bouncing
I'm
around
shooting
working.
as much as possible.
Every
That's pretty
every
awesome.
everybody's getting a little piece of Jade Green right now, so they can experience greatness. They're like,
Exactly.
oh, this
I'm not
ain't.
greedy with myself. Everybody can have a piece.
So, will I be seeing you at the New Jersey Exotica?
No, because I plan on I was gonna go to Fantasy Fest, but I'm actually gonna probably help with Red Cross with the hurricane just because like I have in the past, two of my books are based on my deployment. So it's just like one of those things when it happens, I'm like, God damn it. But like I feel compelled to help and I'm in a place where like I can do that. So right after DC, I'm coming back and helping with that. They have to like how it works with disaster relief stuff. FEMA and engineers have to like go in for the first week and test the bridges and like basically make sure there's no like death hazards for the rest of everyone that's helping out.
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
like I
They
would
have the
like
harder job. I would say they have the harder job. Like my job is helping people with sheltering and stuff and food and water. It's pretty easy to
I
give
feel
out
like
food and water.
I feel like that is more important than a convention, especially if that's in your
Oh,
neighborhood.
thank you.
And no, I'm serious because I feel that like I always feel like, helping people. People always joke and say I get off on helping people, but I feel that, when you're helping others, you're doing a greater service than anything else. And I commend that more than going to any convention because even though your porn is helping people in one capacity, helping them get off whatever, helping somebody who, who may have lost everything, just have a happy face or just have a happy little bit of something, something
Mm.
positive, is more fulfilling than many other things. So,
Well, and
you know,
it's my state, like we're not talking about like a hurricane in Manila or the Philippines. We're not talking about, even a hurricane in Texas. This is my state. So like as somebody who's already been like knee deep, pun intended, in disaster and floodwater no, in disaster work, why not help when I have the time and resources? I think that's like the way I like to live my life is if I have the time and money to help, then I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be there and help like in the official manner through channels. Like I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser. Like I'm not going out and just like helping random people. Like I'm going out with an organization that knows what they're doing, that understands who exactly is affected because they have all that information, like through FEMA and Red Cross, like they have information on what neighborhoods, what address are impacted. it's not, some random person in my DMs that I'm helping. It's people that I know for a fact need the help.
Yeah,
I
because
get that.
you can't trust everybody who's in your DMs saying that they
No,
need help
you cannot help everyone.
because
Only
because
help people need your help, like
yeah,
actually.
because
Exactly.
people in your DMs are could be, looking for nefarious things,
Yeah,
you
like,
know.
oh, I want to donate to Red Cross. Can I meet you in person to give you supplies? Like, no, I don't need the supplies that bad.
Exactly. You're just
Yeah, you
like,
can here no here
oh.
just go to this website
Yeah, just
and
go to this website and donate.
and donate, and make sure your canned goods aren't You know, I always hear that, canned goods don't expire, but please try to keep fresh canned goods because, if you would look at this canned good and wouldn't eat it because if it says expired, someone else might think the same thing. So
Exactly.
even though I know they'll appreciate it and some people still might eat it, be mindful of what you give and what you donate because
Mhm.
just because you are thinking it's a good deed, you got to remember that, the best deed is to be mindful of, you got to think about what you would want if you were in the same situation.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there.
Exactly.
I had to get serious for a second.
That's a good point, though. No, that's a really good point. And like, I think honestly, like that aspect of me makes me like for me, I'm not saying for anybody else, I'm saying for me, it makes me more sexual because I'm like, man, like, like life is so short. We might as well enjoy the very simple, a very non-materialistic,
Mm.
non-materialistic passions of life. Like, sex is one of those joys that does not cost a fucking thing. And then like same with being active, going outside. Like I think embracing that, like and standing in your humility for like a day or two out of the year is good for you. And it's like, man, like that makes me want to live harder in my good moments, you know?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Some of us got to pay for sex.
You know what though? You know what though? Those people get it too. They deserve their sex as well. Just because they have to pay
Mhm.
for it, they deserve it
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to say, okay, I gotta bite this bullet, and pay them that money and say
They
thank
still
you.
deserve it, you know?
And say thank you.
Fair trade, fair market.
Mhm. And mind you, like I was actually born and raised in Texas, so I actually know a lot about hurricanes. So one of the things that I always recommend to people is like I personally don't do this. Like I don't buy a bulk of canned food in one sitting. What I like to do is actually, every time you're grocery shopping, go ahead and get a few extra items.
Yeah.
I go get 5 extra cans, and just always have your pantry stocked. I try to tell people have about 3 months worth. That sounds like a lot, but have about 3 months worth of like canned
That's
goods.
smart.
And like water, that one you kind of should wait for. But I tell people have that big 5 gallon, maybe have two or three of those. Don't fill them up until it's actually about time for hurricane season to come in, and then that way you're not rushing to the stores to try to buy everything. That way
Yeah,
you'll
that's like
I just felt the text her with something you just said. Because she knows that I keep at least like 3, 4, 5 cases of water at
that's
my
smart
house.
though.
No, but she just said, don't go out and buy water.
Well, this is like, because mind you, right before hurricanes or during hurricanes, when they're about to hit, they overcharge for them. For
Yeah, they
example,
always do.
I was actually driving down this recent hurricane. I drove down to Florida, and
Oh, during Helene?
yeah,
Jeez.
I stopped at a gas station somewhere, and a just a regular 24 pack of water was freaking it was like 12 $15. And I was like, gosh dang it, like why are you price gouging when people really need this?
Water is supposed to be free.
Yeah, low key, like water's supposed to be free. But the thing is, like, I have dealt with situations where we like mind you, I went through Hurricane Katrina, so we were running low on water, you know, like we had the boil advisory and stuff like that. So we were running low on fresh water, and luckily our neighbors had extras. But it's like, like, those single mothers out there and stuff, they can't afford that expensive ass water and like those expensive things. So it's just like after a while, like the regular things that we need to survive end up kind of costing like luxury prices, and it's like, damn, they really price gouging just because
It's
they know they
terrible.
can, you
Yeah.
know. So it's always good to have that stuff ahead of time.
I think disasters too, like they bring out people's real, like everybody talks about money in people's characters. I disagree. I think disasters bring out people's real characters because
Absolutely.
the people who are, helping and stuff, like, you know what? You can tell they want to be a part of the community, like, regardless of their other character traits. At the end of the day, they want to be there, they want to be a part of the community, and they want to at least, like, make a difference. But then you get these total jackasses that are out there, like, you know, causing shit, like robbing places. And it's like, that really sucks. Like, especially if a store is open and there is a cashier whose job is just to like sit there during the freaking storm. It's like, leave the poor cashier alone.
Exactly.
Don't be robbing no stores. Like, oh my God. Like,
And
or worse,
what
taking
kills me?
resources, like fighting
What
over resources in the stores, like fighting over freaking toilet paper. It's embarrassing. It's really
Yeah.
embarrassing when people start doing that shit.
what kills me is that some people who do that, they don't pick like, the stores that like are big, whatever. They pick the small, independent, stores that like are like struggling to be alive, and they
It's
rob them.
horrible.
It's like, don't rob anybody, but especially don't rob a Jacob's hardware store, and Jacob is just like someone from down the street, but you're stealing all of his stuff, and he's gonna be in a worse situation.
Exactly. Like that person is a part of our community. Those small mom and pop shops, like, I hate watching when those guys get robbed because you're like, some of them can't really afford that insurance in the first place, and you're already taking more from them. Like, I jokingly will be like, why don't you just go rob Walmart? They got insurance for it.
Right? Like, I hate saying that. Like, I hate saying it, but it's like, honestly, like their cashiers aren't gonna fight back. And that's the problem. It's like the local mom and pop cashier might try to fight back because that's all they have. And it's like, at least
That
at
is
a
their
big store.
livelihood.
Yeah, at least at a big store, nobody's coming after you. Like, you can literally walk in and out of there. I mean, don't do it, but
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you don't have to hurt anyone at least when
mhm.
you're doing that.
That's why I like to tell people, like, go ahead and buy that throughout the year, spend an extra, $20 a week on just getting extra items so you can kind of stockpile without it hurting your wallet, like
That's smart.
all at once, like at that point, like you won't necessarily feel the need to go and do that, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just little things here and there they can do to just kind of help themselves and their community.
Be
And mind you,
prepared.
I I kind of make it sound casual this way, but growing up, we would throw hurricane parties. I
They
don't know
still
if
do
you've heard of,
that.
yeah, hurricane parties, and basically it's like, like we already have our stuff stockpiled, so we got a little bit of that extra money, so they will go and buy beer and stuff like that. And mind you, when the power goes out, you gotta cook the stuff that's in the fridge and the freezer or whatever, because it's going to go bad, and you
Yeah.
don't necessarily have the money to replace that. And maybe your neighbors are, like, because we grew up with a gas stove, and we always had our like charcoal grill and everything. And so we would have neighbors that they didn't have a gas stove and stuff, so they had no means to cook. So we would do a hurricane party and actually just essentially feed the community, whoever's in our
I
neighborhood.
love that. That's
Yeah,
so like positive. Like that's such a great way to influence like and help people through that.
Exactly. And I feel like that's one of the things that makes it like it makes it feel lighter, especially for the kids, you know? You're just like, okay, instead of being scared, just think about this like a neighborhood block party almost, where you're just like, yeah, like some people will have to go out and still have to go to work or have to go help with the cleanup. Someone's got to watch those kids. So, you just bring all the kids over here. We'll make sure they're fed, clean, taken care of. You go do what you have to do. And we call it a party.
Yeah. I give people credit too who also like go out there and rescue the strays off the street. Like, oh my God, those are unseen freaking heroes. Cause I mean, obviously like rescuing people is so important and like comes first, but like there's also like you see people out there with their boats and stuff, just like grabbing dogs and throwing them in their boat. And I think that that's a, that's like the most beautiful part about it is like as much as it sucks that it's happening, at least you do get to see like people trying to rebuild their community. I think it can bring out like people who,
You
want
just
to
know.
have the best in people.
I think you just notice people's
Exactly.
character at any time when they're doing certain things
Mm-hmm.
in those situations. And when it comes to the animals, it's like it is scary to think like how many animals are abandoned when people try to evacuate.
Mm-hmm.
And like some do care about, their fur babies and some don't, you know,
Yeah.
and it's
Some of the
like,
people see
Sometimes it's money.
accessories. Yeah.
but still it's like,
Sometimes they just see them as accessories, these cute little things that after a while they're like, well, I can't afford you. Bam, drop you off the side of the
well, no,
road.
no, no. I meant during like a hurricane, whatever, and like
Hmm.
it's a bad situation, and they leave the home, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
they leave their their fur baby inside the home, whatever, knowing that like even if they won't lose everything, the animal is just there like for weeks, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or. And then if
However long
and
it
then if water is going to destroy everything, they just still leave the animal there. So
takes.
the animal drown. Like I don't know. I
It
just
is, it's absolutely awful. I mean, I know like my friend who just evacuated, actually, I had two friends that evacuated that were like, we're not leaving the pets behind. I'm like, yeah, bring the doggo. Let's do it.
so that's
Exactly. Make it an adventure for them too. And
Yeah.
be funny enough, like growing up, like my mom would actually be one of those people rescuing pets, like rescuing animals, like basically any time of the year, like it doesn't matter if it's a hurricane coming, like if she sees one that's like out there, like in the middle of nowhere, she would actually go rescue it and bring it home. And mind you, the funny thing is with these hurricane parties, we'd have at one point we had about like a dozen animals. Like both cats, dogs. I had a turtle, and we had two birds that we rescued. All of them were rescues. And, the kids would be coming by, to play around, and they'd end up playing with these animals, taking care of them, like kind of, just having fun. And we'd be like kind of pushing them, like when the parents came back, be like, hey, you need a new pet? Like we got some, like they need a new home. And so we kind of like it was like a dual purpose thing where we would end up being like, okay, here, like you can have them, like I see your kid got really attached to this one. You want him?
Oh, that's so dope to like grow up in basically like a mini animal shelter practically.
Exactly. It
Your
kind of
mom
felt
sounds
like
like
a
the goat.
zoo after a while. When we did get the two birds, I think they were like parakeets. They were actually a couple. They didn't leave each other basically. One of them had a broken wing, and my mom ended up being able to she ended up being able to grab them and like take care of them, nurse them back to health. And then this one actually was more of an accident. One of us left the gate open and they kind of flew out. But it was like if you're like let them be free. If they were healthy enough to go together, then let them fly out and be free. So it's like might as well. Like we're not there to be their keeper, but we're there to kind of assist them and help them, assist them and get them like healthy again so they can just fly out and just be who they are, you know? And the area that I was at, like all of the shelters were kill shelters. So we wouldn't want them to go and end up at a shelter. So we're like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and take care of them, make sure our gates are closed so they don't like run out and animal control comes and gets them, you know? So it was kind of one of those things where it was like, it was not necessarily like a hero complex. We just wanted to help out any way we could.
I think too, it's like one of the like earliest lessons I've kind of learned, and like it kind of it ties into the whole how you see other people is really how you see yourself. And like I remember when I was younger having the attitude of like, well, somebody's intentions make all the difference when they're helping other people. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I'll tell you why. Because like the person on the receiving end of help doesn't really give a shit whenever they're thirsty and whenever they're starving and they need water or food. So like I kind of was humbled very young in the disaster world because of that. Like I remember talking to somebody about it and them kind of putting me in my place and being like, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if they are doing it for their resume or if they are doing it to look better, because at the end of the day, they're doing more than the useless people that are not volunteering at all. I'm like, oh damn.
Exactly.
Oh damn. I guess like you're right. Like they're just as needed as everybody else. So honestly, like I wouldn't even focus on that. And I was like, that was enough to just. So when I hear people like say that about people, where it's like, oh, they just did that good deed to like look better, and it's like, okay, maybe, but that doesn't take away the fact that it's a good deed objectively. Like it's still a good deed. So yeah. So even if the person's a piece of shit, like, well. The silver lining is that somebody got help from them. I mean, like, I hate to say it. That's my very positive
about giving back. It's all about giving back to our community any way that we can, you know?
Yeah, and I think having the ability, like neutrality is one of the huge values of Red Cross, where it's like helping regardless of somebody's beliefs or somebody's, you know, I try to be so neutral, like everywhere I am on Facebook and Instagram, just because I don't want anyone ever to like see me and my persona and then one day see me on a disaster relief operation and be like, oh, like I don't feel welcome by her, like, or I don't feel like she'll give me help I need. So I try to always keep it very like very loving and sexual for everyone.
Exactly.
So
Try to help
before
one way or another.
So before, because we're going to finish soon, but I want to ask you something. I've been asking people this recently. What is the funniest or craziest thing that has happened so far on set to you?
Oh my gosh. I would say the funniest thing was probably, oh, I feel like this is tied between two moments, so I'm gonna pick a better one.
Oh, you can pick both.
Mm-hmm.
This
You
is
can tell
this
both.
this is the Jade show right now.
One of them was so with Jimmy Michaels, my scene with him was really great. We had really good chemistry and like maybe too good, like we would not get off each other. So like it's really funny because after I had I think it was my third or fourth shoot with him, I like kind of made a rule now that I'm like, I don't start fluffing until like the photos, because if I do and I get horny, my brain is totally useless. And I get like brain dead if I'm like horny before like at least the photos start. I'm like, yeah, like I can't, like the paperwork, forget it. Forget it. If you want me to do paperwork, I cannot do it turned on, period.
Right? You're like, I can't think straight. I just got that dick on my mind.
Yeah, like yeah, no. So he is the person that made that a rule with me where I'm like, I will fluff you, but like you have to wait. We have to wait till the paperwork is done, the bunny ears, all that stupid crap is done, and then I will proceed. Very friendly.
You got to get the important stuff out the way. That way we get to the good stuff.
Yeah. And then the second time was actually with him again for the bounce house thing. So that's really funny. But I like definitely thought I was gonna like freaking come down on him like and hurt him, because nobody thinks about bouncy house or trampoline, and you know, when a girl's on top, what she could do to a dude's dick on accident.
Mm-hmm.
I kept getting down, just like
I mean,
falling
like
all over the
there has been a
place.
girl who like has injured a performer's dick before. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I
Has that
remember.
happened?
yeah,
Yes, it actually has happened, and mind you,
The
that
shock,
is
the shock on her face.
yeah. Like
Did he
I'm not.
sue?
No, I mean
oh
like
no.
they were having sex, and I just think like like she turned the wrong way, and like something happened, and like
Ah!
he's healed now, but
Mhm.
he couldn't work for a while because he got injured. It got injured. So
Yeah, that's why it's always you always gotta be careful when you're what position was it? I think it was reverse cowgirl.
When girls are on top, yeah, for real.
Yeah, like she was on top, doing that squat and doing that grind, and basically, from what I remember, she kind of like bent it. So like,
That's what I was afraid of because I kept bouncing, and he was like, "No, I got you, I got you." But then we kept falling over, and then I'm pretty sure the construction crew next to the house could hear everything we were doing in between, and like probably some of them even
Yeah,
saw it. So that was just hilarious to me because it's like, you know what? We also gave the construction workers a free show, so
exactly. It made their day better.
yeah.
Yeah. I love
oh,
that.
I believe there's been so many free shows accidentally at my places of work, of living because of people doing stuff like in my yard or whatever. And as I said yesterday, like
Yeah.
I just moved here and I haven't put up my privacy fence yet. But like I closed the blinds enough, but I know on my right side, you can still see into my backyard a little bit. And I said people were just outside changing from like, their clothes into their swimsuits. And I'm
Mhm.
like, you just if somebody was I hope nobody was looking, but like if they were, being nosy, you just gave them a free full-on show because you changed your tops and your bottoms.
Ooh,
So, just I was like,
You say didn't spread it wide, you got to pay for that one.
I mean, yeah,
God.
but the thing is, again, it doesn't phase me anymore just seeing someone change.
That's true.
It
I
just,
should like stop let it bothering me and just accept the fact that like it's the same as people seeing me naked on the internet. I don't know why, like it doesn't bother me people seeing me naked on the internet, but like for some reason I'm so apologetic about it, like in person. Like I don't know
oh,
why.
Well, it's about consent.
I think
Well,
two
because
things.
they seek it out. On the internet, they're seeking it out versus like out in public, it's like, man, like I'm not trying to do nothing or interrupt this
Mm,
I mean,
five-candid day.
it's the same thing as if like you're outside in your bra and panties and you feel subconscious about it, but at the same time you're at the beach in a two-piece.
Yeah.
It's exact. It's you know if you're wearing regular clothes, whatever, and not lingerie, it's the exact same thing.
mhm.
You're still covered, but it's like just a different fabric. But like I believe just some people are just really either they don't want to show people them naked, or the fact that like oh, I don't want to feel weird. Like
Mhm.
as I say again, people had to break my neck, not literally, to get naked, like to get bottomless for something inside of my own home. But it was
Mm,
just because like I'm so cautious about, taking off any type of clothes. So
exactly. Mind you, in general, like I feel like the general community can kind of be weird about like even even if it's not nudity, they can just be weird about things in general. For
And
example,
like men too, especially like can be weirder than one would think. Like not all men take it perverted. Some men, like religious men especially, are like outraged by nudity just as much as freaking religious women are. They can be.
yeah, and mind you, one time I did it was a yoga photo shoot at a park, and I was an ambassador for the yoga outfit and stuff. So it was just a legitimate photo shoot. There was no stripping, no nothing. It was like it was full leggings and a sports bra.
Yeah.
I was just doing photos, like making sure there was no one in the background. I just had like, it was basically like like it's a park like inside of like a forest kind of area. So the background was like just all trees. And so people were just walking by, like saw me doing photos and just got really weird and quickly U-turn and basically like almost ran away. And I was like, I'm not even doing anything. I'm doing yoga. There's just a camera attached to me, basically. There's just a guy taking photos of me. Like, I'm not.
There's
I'm
like a weird stigma about being photographed in public. I think part of it has to do with people's paranoia of them being photographed, that like they assume if you're photographing yourself that they'll be in your picture or video, and it's like, calm down. You're not the main character.
exactly, exactly. And sometimes when I do photos or even videos in public where it's just, regular clothes and stuff like that, people will kind of get weird. And like for me personally, like if someone's walking by, like I'll let them know, hey, my camera's right here, just so you know. Or sometimes if it's just like a very public place, I'll just blur the background. So you're not even going to see the people, like
That's
I'm not
smart.
the kind of person to like photograph someone like unsolicited, like
Yeah.
us as content creators in general, I feel like we tend to be very mindful of that, but I'm just kind of like, damn, you don't have to be weird about it. Like, I'm just filming yoga. But mind you, I also have had guys tell me that they get off to my yoga videos from YouTube where I'm fully clothed, I'm not even doing anything sexual. I'm just doing the stretches and talking them through it. And they're like, oh yeah, I jacked off to that. And I'm like, I don't know how you did that, but okay, like I guess.
There's a fetish out there for everyone, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah,
Yeah.
I said it to you before. People can jack off to anything. People
Yes.
people can see you fully clothed, with an eye patch on, a scar over that eye. Your lip could be bloody.
My God.
Your
People
eye,
like even balloon popping. It's
your
a
eye.
Oh,
fetish.
I've done that before. Yeah.
That's a fetish.
Mhm.
Jade, there was one like I don't kink shame. I just don't understand some of these kinks sometimes.
Mhm.
And like it was one that someone told me that they had to do, and the person requested the young lady grab, like, you know how you can make the farting sound with your under, like the
Yeah.
someone, that's all they wanted. They wanted the girl fully clothed and just for the entire video. And I forgot how long they wanted the video for, but it was like I don't get it, but okay.
Mhm.
That's different. Like
There's certain
that's
things
just different to
I
me.
don't understand.
Like
Like,
I don't,
like some kings are not for us. And you just gotta just no shame to that game.
Yeah.
oh,
But like
I
I
mean,
just
I'm
like
not big into like, I am not big into the whole like stepbrother, stepmom thing, but like I have fun with it. Like I have fun with that shit just because like on set, it's like I know that there's gonna be a viewer out there that really gets enjoyment out of this, so I might as well indulge and
the,
like,
exactly.
the thing
It's
the
just
thing
role
is
play.
the thing
yeah,
is it
have a
was a
good
point.
time.
See,
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you something was crazy. So when I first started doing anything in the industry, they
Mhm.
like, you notice now you watch porn or you go on porn sets, they specifically make sure you say the word step.
Yes.
And before, when I first started doing this stuff, they weren't making sure you say the word step.
Mhm.
Even though it was implied, it wasn't said. And
Mhm.
that had to change because, it
Oh,
was
because
a
of
little,
promoting incest or whatever.
yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
like, the thing
Because
is,
But they're not really related.
yeah, but I mean, it's still like with fetishes, whatever, watching porn, it's all about that fantasy, you know, and like the fantasy is in this scenario of is uh uh Ricky is 19 years old, home from college, and he's not having a good day. But hey, Stepmom Jade is here. Oh, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? They didn't let me into this fraternity because I'm a virgin. Oh, we all been there. Have you ever been with a woman? No, no, I haven't even touched one. Okay, do you want to experiment with me in order? And then it's a scenario.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm big into storylines. I
Yeah,
cannot.
it's just like it's
I
role
can
playing though.
I cannot enjoy a porn scene unless I understand why somebody is there. Like I hate Gonzo. Like if you like it's the story I just said, oh, y'all know each other because this person is your stepmother. Um, okay, he's home from school. He is depressed. You are trying to be a very thoughtful stepmother. Okay, I understand why all these people are here. I understand the story. Now, do what you got to do in order to get to the sex, but I know these characters. I know the background.
Exactly.
I'm weird like that, Miss Jade. I'm sorry.
No, no, it's
That's just
okay.
because like I can't even get my dick hard to that, you know?
I'm into Gonzo, but I'm also horny 24/7 and like I'm an Aries, so I think that's very reflective of my zodiac sign. Like I don't have time to waste. Like I need to get like 30 quickies in like a day.
See,
Like I got shit
I
to
can't
do.
I can't come 30 times. I can
I can.
I can I mean like I can come once and give me like 5, 10 minutes. I can probably come again, and then I'm gonna leave a little bit, drink
The
some
benefit
water.
of being a chick, man.
Yeah, it's like like we don't, well, like you unless you want like the smoke puffs to come out like you know like I can only come so much, and it really depends on what I did the day before because if I dropped everything the day before, it's like
I like normal porn, but I'm definitely one of those dudes that like fast forwards. Like I fast forward to
Yeah, that's how
like
I am. I like watching the beginning, like me
want to
personally.
see butt.
oh, don't get me wrong, wait, time out. I like the storyline or someone's there. But then once they start get going, I do fast forward because there's
Oh, there
one
you go. You stop and start.
because no, I like once I know like once it gets going and everybody and the sex is going on. Like for example, I don't watch boy girl. I normally only watch girl porn or girl by herself or girl, like whatever. And the thing is, if I know this scene has a strap on. I would, fast forward to that point, and then start watching after I get the why, and exchange Jimmy for uh for Lucy, and I'm in there, but that's just how my brain that's just how everything works in this crazy messed up brain that I have.
Definitely a production side person. Like that
Yeah,
totally comes through.
and
You're
that's why we do
describing
my
the scene.
no,
You're
honestly.
setting the stage for everything here. For
No, what's no, the thing is like this is why everybody talks about the quote unquote box, like the no box that I have in my house, because I have like because everybody comes in here and shoots, and sometimes I get the outfits for them so they can record their scenes, whatever. And so because we don't use so much, it just accumulates toys and clothes and all that crap at my house. And and like so, because of that, they say, okay, we need a scenario. Before they record, I'm like, I give them a full scenario. They say, cool, cool, and they act it out when I'm helping them, shoot for their OnlyFans or whatever, whatever. And like they have a good scene, but
Mhm.
it's here and there.
I
But
call it the box of goodies because, like, for example, I like coming in and like, if you're traveling from out of town, you're not gonna have all your outfits. So I'll be like, oh shoot, I forgot this. I'm pretty sure there's one of those in the box, and I'm like,
yeah,
yes.
someone just took the 17-inch dick that I had in my box.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
she's an
big.
Olympian.
It
She's
was
an
a. It was a.
Olympian sexpert.
It was a big,
Exactly.
like this grip,
Nice and girthy.
17-inch dick, and they took it, and I'm like, that's a lot. And like the left side of my brain is kind of like, I want to see you actually take this. Right side of my brain is, that's a lot. But
Mm-hmm. Like, that's too much.
like someone took a torso from over here the other day.
I mean,
I
as
got
long as it's the size of a baby's head, we're talking, it can still fit,
it
correct?
was yeah,
Exactly.
it was
Exactly.
like think about how big this part water is. It was a little bit big, a little bit girthier than this, and
Jeez.
about in longer than this is. So, well, about the same type of this is. Probably a little bit longer. And it's like that's a lot. But as I said, someone took a torso from here, like a half torso, and a mini torso from here the other day. So
I would say
I
I would love to like work with Brickzilla too, but the problem is I would have to buy his dildo first to make sure I could even take it. Like that's
Exactly. You know?
Brickzilla, big Brickzilla or Dread.
it's very
That's a
attractive
lot.
men, but like they got monsters, man. That's
I
like
know, for real. Like,
level
people have been asking
100.
me, like, oh, when are you gonna film with Dread? When are you gonna do anal? And I'm like, okay, first of all, the anal, give me a second. Like, I gotta practice for that one,
It,
you know?
Yeah.
come
It's
with Dread, and it's like this long. It's like
mhm.
You know, Dred's
like
like a whole arm.
Exactly, especially considering how like petite we are. Like, yo, that's it.
But let's not take too much of your time. I thank you for coming on, Ms. J. You are absolutely freaking fun. I can't wait to meet you in person one day in this crazy world that we live in. Please tell everybody where to find you to get your stuff, to buy, purchase her content, and all that
Mhm.
stuff like that. And purchase her book too.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Jade Greene Books, Jade Green, Greene Books. And on my Twitter, you can find like I still say Twitter. I'm not gonna say X. I refuse to say
That's
X.
how I am.
I'm not saying X. On my Twitter, I have a link me that shows all of my links, my spicy links, my book links also. So you can just click that link and it'll direct you all my other pages.
Okay, Miss Sarah Lays, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on iamsarahLace.com. All of my links and my social medias will be on there.
You could find me at RAWSEARR on Facebook, and I'm sorry, on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it, and on Instagram. You can find
Mhm.
us at Burbank Memphis on Instagram, Burbank Memphis on Facebook and on Twitter, and burbankmemphis.com. This is everything we do from fitness, graphics, photography, videography. You'll find Sarah's information for all that she does and all the little sex stuff that we do. Ms. J, thank you for joining us and being our finale for season 6.
Um,
Mhm.
So you are the highlight for our season 6 finale, and we appreciate you being that for us. And everybody, please tune in next week, and yeah, and have fun.